So, how do I look? Like my sunglasses? I'm going on a trip. I am going to Egypt. Now, just, saying this out loud. Let me get my water. Um, oh, something's in there. Oh, look at that. Okay, this is real life. Wow, just thinking about it and just saying it out loud is now becoming very, very real. It's just wild because Egypt isn't something or somewhere I suddenly decided I wanted to visit. It's a place I've been curious about since I was a kid. And the closer that I get to leaving, the more I realize that this trip represents something much bigger for me, and it represents my curiosity. It represents my freedom, my sense of adventure, and maybe even prove to myself that some of the things I've imagined in my life don't have to stay in my imagination. That just really gets me super excited to be able to share this with you. So, let me take off my sunglasses. That was fun. So it all started as a kid, my fascination with Egypt, because I grew up learning about it in scripture. We talked about different things surrounded by Egypt. And also, not only that, in just the Sunday school when I went to Sunday school, and then social studies. Social studies class was a big thing. Of course, I don't remember them going into detail, but I do remember just being in awe of just how everything, just wondering how all this stuff can be created. Like all the big structures, all the tombs, like just all the things we start hearing about what they find, and just like thinking about how did this person really, really live? I just think it's very fascinating. And just wanting to understand the culture overall and the food. I've always been a foodie, so I've always been very intrigued about learning about different cultures and what they eat. And just a side note, I remember it was in middle school, but it had to be maybe sixth grade, seventh, I don't know. I can't remember exactly the grade, but we were responsible for bringing a dish that is native to where our ancestors were born. So everybody had their own little dish of something, right? So just that, even centered around that, just being able to experience different cuisines is something that I always loved. I always was just fascinated on how people make things and like the stories that are behind all the things. So anyway, so there is a difference. There's a difference between reading the word Egypt on a page and realizing I'm actually going to stand in a place that I've heard about my entire life. Like I'll get to just stand there. I'll get to touch things. I'm so excited. Now, I am sure that you have your own bucket list of destinations. And so those may include a lot. And maybe say if you've never done a bucket list, I don't know a lot of people that have not, but a bucket list is something that you want to accomplish before your next destination, as far as whatever you believe when you pass on. While you're here on this earth, something that you want to accomplish. Some people may want to jump out a plane, or they may want to, fly on an airplane, or you may have wanted to go to Aruba or the Bermuda Triangle, or maybe Hawaii. I know growing up, that was a destination that a lot of people were aiming to be able to go to Hawaii, which I haven't been as of yet. That's on my list. But you can create a mental list if you want to, but it's nothing like putting that somewhere, written down in your phone. Maybe you have a board on Pinterest that has all of your destinations listed of where you want to go. And just thinking about, okay, someday I'm going to go here, or someday I'm going to go there. So it's your someday list. But wouldn't you like to get that someday list marked off? Wouldn't you like to get that accomplished? Not just saying someday and watching other people live that someday dream or destination list that you have. Don't you want to be at the center of that list? I know I do. So at some point, you have to ask yourself, how many things on my someday list do I actually intend to experience? How many? So say if you have about 10 destinations, as the years have passed, and maybe you haven't had that chance yet, you finally look up and you realize, okay, I'm at this point now, my kids have grown, or I'm done homeschooling, or I'm in transition with my career, or fill in the blank. How many of those 10 destinations are you going to actually experience? That is the question I want you to start thinking about. So just in case you have not done already, this is the Midlife Time Traveler, and I want you to subscribe. Subscribe so you won't miss a thing. We are on this journey together of reclaiming our time, our energy, our talent, and reclaiming the things that we were once super excited about and maybe forgot. Maybe you got so busy or so distracted that you didn't get to the thing. But now you have a second chance. This is your second half of life, and you have a chance to make those things happen for yourself. So I am documenting my own personal journey, and I would love for you to stick around and just be a part of it. And we can connect in the comments. Just hit that subscribe button at the Midlife Time Traveler. All right. So when I was younger, and I'll just tell you, I do get caught up in some of the like Sagittarius and different zodiac signs like that. I think they're fun, whether you believe in it or not, but I think it's fun. And a Sag, they love travel. And I've always liked to do some form of travel, whether it was a road trip with family for a family reunion, because years ago we used to actually go somewhere for our family reunions. We would get in the car, and there's a place in Virginia that we would go to. One of my uncles had. And so that was kind of like the highlight of the summer. I knew at least we were going to that one place, or maybe we would go to the beach or something like that. So I was given the opportunity to actually go a little farther. And it was London, Paris, and Madrid. Now this was like epic. I was about 17 or so years old. And so it was our Spanish class and our French class. And then the French teacher, she was also the English teacher. And so a few of us were able to go, and we stayed there. I think it was like 11 days or so. I can't remember the exact thing, but I still have like brochures and coins and things like that. But just seeing a different way of life was epic. You know, you hear about it, you watch the movies, you hear the accents, and then to actually be there, and it was just like, oh, this is Notting Hill. Oh, this is what a real cappuccino tastes like. Oh, I love this croissant. Or, wait a minute, calamari? Wow, that was the first time I ever had calamari. Oh, gosh. In a mock sangria, because, we were underage, so, we had to try to do a good thing. Seeing a boudet for the first time. So all the things, I could go on, but just imagine being a teenager and getting to experience all of that. That was goal. And then also going to the Bahamas. I've been to the Bahamas a few times. First trip was when I was 18 with my class. That was our graduation trip. Like, how cool is that? Our little town decided to actually do some things. We were like so over the top. From there, other trips in college, also being able to go on a long cruise. Also, when I got married, spending time in Kigali, Rwanda, 111 days. I've mentioned that before. But just being able to do all the things, it's something within me that gets all excited and riled up. And it's just like, this is something that I want to be a part of my life continuously. So just looking back, I realized adventure wasn't something I suddenly discovered in midlife. It was already part of me. It was part of me. And I think that is the key. Just that realization in midlife, you get those ahas, right? The aha moment. I had that aha moment. So you are not just recognizing these things, you're reconnecting those parts that you were once connected to. You're reconnecting. You're reorganizing. You're not manufacturing a new personality. You are restructuring your life. And it's like, you know what? That girl is still in there. She is still in there. Just needed something to awaken, right? And so Egypt becomes another step to bringing that part of myself back around. And I'm excited about that. So, what does travel really mean to me? It means a lot of things to a lot of different people. And I've touched on some of this before. But travel means freedom. Freedom. Wow. Freedom. Relaxing. I should have got my fan. Travel means freedom. Freedom to learn about different cultures, learning about different languages, at least learning. I was told by someone that they try to learn at least 10 words or phrases or something when they go to different countries. I mean, that just shows that you're trying to connect with them, right? Also, freedom to be curious. Like, what is really out there? Sometimes we can get so bombarded in what we see, but there's more than meets the eye. Freedom to experience, again, just being somewhere else and seeing different people, how they react, how they respond. Freedom to try new foods. I love it. This is my favorite part. I'm so excited. I've already started looking at different foods in Egypt and like what I would like to try. So excited. Are they ready for me? Are they? Had someone say, what was that? What was it? I forgot. Something about, so the person didn't realize that they were a foodie and they realized that they are more like a travel foodie. It's like travel awakens that foodie instinct or something like that. I watched, it was a TikTok I saw recently, but also freedom to hear just them, people communicating together and just trying to figure out what's going on. Like a lot of times too, and this is something that I've experienced, being in a country longer than a few days, sometimes you get to the body language, you kind of pick up of kind of what's kind of going on. Not fully, but you can see the interaction and kind of see, okay, what story is behind this interaction? So freedom to be somewhere where your normal routines don't dictate the entire day, the daily commute. As I see cars going by, It's not dictating your entire day, your routine, whatever you're doing day to day. So, freedom also to realize that your normal isn't the only normal. We think what we do from day to day, that is it. That's what you do. But that's our version. So I just like seeing other ways of living. This can change your belief that it's possible in your own life as well. When you see different things happening, you realize that it also is possible for you. All things are possible if you believe, right? So, something I want to talk about that kind of may rub some people a certain way, but we got to talk about it, right? We got to talk about it. So, let me get my water. Trying to stay hydrated. Hope you all are too. That heat advisory is no joke. All right, so something I've been wanting to talk about, and it just might rub people the wrong way, and it is fear. Because fear can make your world very small, like really, really small. Even just the fear of like putting on shades on a video and dancing. People are scared to do that, which there was a time that I was too, just afraid to be myself because I'm very animated, as you can see. So, there are so many reasons people don't travel. Money, maybe the lack of, maybe it doesn't fit in your budget, different other responsibilities. You have to take care of a loved one, or you have small children, you feel like you can't take them with you. Maybe your health, maybe, they're saying you can't because of health reasons, or your family, the timing may be off. And so it could be those things, and I'm not discrediting those things, but it can also be some fear. Because you don't want to be the woman just watching, or the person that just watching what everyone else is doing. You want to actually start doing the thing, right? So you may say, well, I can't afford Egypt. Well, I didn't have some magical funds sitting to the side. I actually had to intentionally, because I'm not going by myself, we had to intentionally plan for this. So it wasn't just something magical, but we made a decision. And then we knew we had to make some sacrifices in order to line everything up. So I don't want fear to be the reason that you don't experience life. And that was for me. There's no judgment. I was telling myself that. There's a lot going on, I understand. But at the same time, there's ways to travel safely, and the timing, all the things. But sometimes we'd have to get out of our own way. So maybe you just can't travel internationally, and that's fine. You can try neighboring towns. So some of you may not even want to go to the next town over. So where I live, there's so many next towns over because they kind of cross too. And it's fun just to explore the new restaurants, just the new buildings, something else that's picture worthy. So maybe you haven't even decided, or you haven't tried or thought about doing that. So maybe put that on your list to say, you know what, I'm going to drive that extra 20 minutes or 20 miles, whatever, and go to that next town and see what they have to offer. Maybe a highlight. You could try a restaurant where you say, well, maybe I might not like it. But what if you like it? Well, what if you do like it? You can start with an appetizer to share. Or maybe there's a monument, maybe you like history that you want to check out, and you can make it a day of exploring or a moment of exploring the history. Or maybe it's a meeting place to meet up with family. Maybe a family member lives 40 minutes away, and then you say, how about if we meet somewhere close in the middle in this particular town? And maybe we could just look at the shops, maybe bring our own lunch if you don't want to try a new restaurant. So there's different things that you could do. Those are just a few suggestions. If you have more, share them in the comments. Or maybe you've tried to do something new and maybe you thought, oh, that's not good enough. It is more than enough. There's museums, there's all types of things in these neighboring areas. And then you may say, well, okay, I can drive a little farther. Well, maybe you may want to do a day trip and drive an hour and stay a few hours and explore. And I highly recommend planning your, at least for the gas, and planning a change of clothes just in case something, you might change your mind and decide to keep driving and stay somewhere. But, have a change of clothes, have money for food and gas, the essentials, right? So you can just take her somewhere, just anywhere that maybe you've been afraid to go before by yourself. And no judgment here, because there was a time where I was afraid to go certain places by myself. Now, you want to make sure that you're safe, but it's getting over that hump of, okay, this is something that's safe. I can do this. I can try this. I can try to take myself out for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and sit by myself. I will be okay. Always pay attention to your surroundings, but I will be okay to sit here. You can sit and play on your phone, whatever it may be. But you get what I'm saying. Just try different things. Try baby steps to kind of get over that hump and just see, where is it coming from? Is it just the fear of unknown? Or maybe something happened, I'm not sure. But get to the bottom of that, and as you work through it, try those new things. One thing too, I thought about a pottery class. So taking a pottery class might be something fun. But it's not about everyone needing to go to Egypt. It's just finding something, someplace different, someplace new that you can explore, and just getting out of your own way to explore it. So what could life be like if these travel destinations on my bucket list became regular adventures? That's something for me. And I want this to be for you. I want you to answer that question. What could life be like if these travel destinations on your bucket list became a regular adventure? So just think about it. Just say, okay, you're going to go on a cruise. Maybe you want to cruise to the Bahamas, okay? Maybe next year you cruise to some part of Mexico. Maybe the next year you might do a Mediterranean cruise. I know someone just got back from an Adriatic cruise. How fun is that? So start somewhere, and maybe that can be part of your list. So if you have a bunch of different destinations, and maybe a cruise might be a better option to get all the things checked off. You never know. But that's the question. What could life be like? A lot different. You don't have to rush through it. We got time. What if international travel isn't a rare, get my words out. What if international travel isn't a rare escape from your real life? What if adventure becomes part of your real life? As you know, we think about, we're taking these places to escape something, but This could be a regular occurrence. It doesn't have to be every other month or every quarter. It could be once a year. It's still a regular part of your life. You may decide, okay, now just like teachers. So teachers, they're off during the summer. So they may decide, okay, so I am on it with my classroom all throughout the school year, but the summertime, that is my time to explore something different. And then guess what? There's some that teach during the summer. So you may decide, okay, I'm going to teach in a different country during the summer. Whatever it is, but it doesn't have to be necessarily an escape from something. It can be part of your real life. Don't let fear make your world smaller than it has to be. Don't let fear make your world smaller than it has to be. All right. So, how many of you are old enough to have watched documentaries? They used to come on PBS all the time. I mean, there are still documentaries, but they were really there was nothing else on but the documentaries, that type of thing. You may have just used to sit there and just, okay, or maybe you got excited about it. Now you can watch documentaries on YouTube, right? And they're fun. You see all the things, which I've watched a few, which we call them just, you may call them something else, but I've watched some on Egypt, just to see what's going on current, some current events, what's happening, what are some fun things to explore, all the things. Maybe you have the old time, photo album, if I can get it out, photo album. And maybe you like flipping through photo albums, or maybe you like making the little scrapbook of your journeys, whatever it may be. But there's something different about being able to be at that place at a certain time in your life. It's something about, you may have, after the fact, gathered everything, but what if you have never gone? You have your entire Pinterest board dedicated to a place or places that you've never been, and maybe you think it's out of reach. It's nothing like being able to finally say, I am going, and go, right? It's nothing like hearing the sounds, hearing the waves, all the exotic birds, hearing the different types of music, the hustle and bustle of the traffic, eating all the great food, maybe even getting lost. That's not that fun. But exploring and coming across something you didn't intend, yes. Just seeing how ordinary life happens for people. And then sometimes discovering what you imagined and seeing if it's really correct. Is it really accurate in my imagination? When I see it for the first time, is it the way I imagined it, right? And you can say, I don't want my entire understanding of the world to come through someone else's camera. I don't want someone else's camera I don't want to live through someone else's camera. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to have my own adventures. Because why not? Why not explore while you have the time, while you have the day, while you're here? There is more to explore. So yes, I am going on vacation. I'm going to Egypt, yes. Again, it represents my curiosity, my freedom, my whole life of just wanting to be the type of person that goes on destinations regularly. I'm the kind of person that makes travel part of my real life, and I follow through on what I say. It's another way I'm showing up for myself. So, what's somewhere you've always wanted to experience, and what does that place represent to you? What's somewhere you've always wanted to experience, and what does that place represent to you? Not simply where you want to travel, but what does it represent? Does it represent freedom? Does it represent rest? Does it represent adventure, family history, curiosity? Does it represent starting over? Now, if you are somewhere in this midlife journey, just realizing there's still more to see, there's more to experience, and maybe even more of yourself that you want to rediscover, I really, really invite you to subscribe to the Midlife Time Traveler. We are reclaiming our time, we're reclaiming our energy, our talents, things that we need to bring back to rediscover about ourselves. Because I'm not waiting until I've got everything figured out to document my journey. I am documenting everything right here, right now, in real time. And pretty soon, I'll be taking that journey to Egypt. And you'll get to see more and more about that as the weeks come. So I am super excited that you have chosen this channel to tune into for today. Remember to subscribe, and so we can stay connected and just be a part of this rediscovery together. We are reinventing, and that reinvention doesn't mean turning into a whole new person. It's remembering those parts that you want to awaken again. And it's also taking the time to take care of yourself, one day at a time, one system at a time. Until next time, while you have the day, make the most of today. Bye for now.